Alright, well, I don't know exactly where to begin. I didn't think I was gonna have to make this video anytime soon, but here we are. Every word I say from this point on in the video is 100% truthful and honest. I'm not BSing anyone today, and you guys know that I wouldn't lie to you guys, especially on something this important. Anyway, here we go. I'll say it straight to the point. I am receiving surgery on my left eye, and I may not return for a very long period of time. Before you guys contradict me or say that I'm lying, let me backtrack and put things into perspective. When I was very young, I was diagnosed with a conjunctival nevus. In non-medical terms, this is basically just a benign mole or birthmark on my eye, which usually doesn't interfere with your eyesight or vision. Here are some pictures of what these could look like. They tend to be very light in color. However, over time, these can spread and expand and darken across the surface of the eye. That's exactly what happened to me. The conjunctival nevus on my eye originally wasn't in contact with my iris, which is, the large outer ring of the eye, which can be different colors such as blue or brown, up until just a few weeks ago. While I was on my trip in San Francisco, which was the same week I posted my 150-star montage, I started to notice that the nevus had begun to spread onto my iris. I immediately took action and told my parents, since I had a growing concern for it, and doctors usually examine the nevus and see if it's growing. If it doesn't grow, then you can basically leave it on your eye without harm at all. But mine was different. Mine had grown significantly over the past 7 years and was inching closer and closer to my pupil, and something had to be done about it. Yesterday, I woke up a lot earlier than usual. I had an eerie gut feeling that yesterday would be a lot different than I had expected. Unbeknownst to me, yesterday would also end up being the most unusual and frightening day for me in my entire life. I couldn't sleep, so I did what all YouTubers would have done and recorded and edited a video. I still felt very uneasy after, so I could not go back to sleep. Eventually, it was time to go to see an ophthalmologist, since I had a doctor's appointment on that same day, and I was expecting it to be very quick and smooth. Just to get some scans on my eye, see that the results would be negative, and then just move on. Upon arrival, I was met with the very ominous sight of large amounts of people walking in with eye patches and canes, the white canes, such as those that people who are blind walk with. I checked in, or the check-in took an hour, and once I was in the room, there was a piercing silence. Like, you could hear the air move through the walls, and I was dreading every second of it. It took another 30 minutes just for the ophthalmologist to check up on me because they were on another patient, and by that time I was feeling terrible. The whole sequence of events is still a blur for me. I can vaguely remember the doctor doing the routine checkups that they do on a physical, just by shining some small lights into your eye with that little hammer thing, and making me put my chin on that weird headset thing that displayed an image of like a hot air balloon, and then it puffed air in your eye. The usual. They told me that they're gonna go and get a closer look at the nevus by looking through a lens, and so they put a weird cup thing filled with like a slimy substance, it's not like water, it's like a gel, and then they put it on my eye and started rotating it around. They also had to drop some like numbing agent into my eye, and it just hurt. It was just the weirdest experience I'd ever gone through. I couldn't see out of that eye, and it felt like I just opened my eyes underneath the pool, but that pool was filled with Vaseline. Like, it was terrible. I couldn't blink for another 10 minutes because it was like a gel, and they spun it around my eye for a full minute or two, and it just was the weirdest experience. I later found out that it was called a gonioscopy. Gonioscopy. They also put drops of numbing agent into my eye afterwards, which was even more painful, and my entire eye just felt like they were doing some weird experiment on it. It was like they dropped a bag of sand on your eyes, because it just stung, and it wasn't a fun experience. Once the whole ideal was over, or ordeal, I don't know, I could not open my left eye because the gel thing was sticking it back together like crazy glue, and Immediately, they took me to another room and dropped 3 more different kinds of eye drops into my eye. This didn't hurt, but they made me so dizzy and like I couldn't see because I'm already nearsighted, right? I can't see far away. But this one made me farsighted too, so I couldn't see anything within 6 inches of me, and I couldn't see anything past like 3 feet of me, so I was basically blinded for like a full hour, and I was really sensitive to light. Like, it just, if I didn't have, they didn't give me sunglasses, I probably would, they would just hurt. I felt like I was in some fever dream and I just couldn't think straight. They made me wait another 45 minutes to let my pupils dilate, and then they took me back into the room and they did even more checkups. After the checkups, they confirmed that I needed surgery, and if I wanted to be safe, that they'll have to look at the nevus under the microscope to see if it's cancerous. In most cases, it isn't, but since I'm at such a young age and it's growing already, they have to, or else in the future it could really cause problems, not only to my eye, but to my entire body, because if you know how cancer works, basically once you have it, it's very hard to get rid of it. They started using a Q-tip on my eye, and then they pushed it like directly on my eye. They pushed it onto my eye to test the pressure on it or something. And they put even more numbing agent, and it just felt like I was having like a nightmare in real life. Then they show a bright light directly into my eye. Mind you, my pupils were already dilated. Like, like a computer screen would make my eyes like burn. And it was just really sensitive to light. So when they shone that bright light right into my eye, I felt like I was staring directly at the sun for 30 seconds without even blinking. I think it was twice as worse as that. Like, it was so painful I couldn't see anything for the next like 5 to 10 minutes because of just how bright the light was. After like 3 hours of deliberation, they finally concluded that like I needed a real surgery. Also a field test for glaucoma. Glaucoma is basically a disease that occurs in old people. It's a second leading disease that causes people to get blind. And basically, what they told me, this is exactly what they told me, was that my right optic nerve was bigger than my left. And they said it's the same thing as having your right foot bigger than your left foot. But in this case, the cup, which is basically the thing that connects, I don't think it is, but it's like the curvature on the eye that like takes in the light and like processes it into your brain as like an image. They said that it was a different shape compared to the other one, and I could go blind in the future, but for now it is fine. And that was on my right eye. So the conjunctival nevus was on my left eye. So if that failed, I'd go blind in my left eye. And if I got glaucoma in my right eye, then I'd be blind in both eyes, which would not be fun. That would not be a fun experience. In the description, I'll provide a link to a video on how my surgery is going to be performed. Please note that it's going to be very disgusting, so please watch at your own discretion. Anyways, you're probably asking what is going to happen next. Basically, I'm going to be uploading like normal until the time I have to get surgery, which is going to be on a Friday sometime during September. And if not in September, definitely by end of October. I'll keep you guys updated on my Discord server. The surgery and field tests won't happen until September, so you can expect more content for quite a while longer. While I am scared and nervous, I mean, I have complete faith and trust in these surgeons, and I may start doing charity streams to help out certain organizations, such as the Children's Hospital. I feel like now I have a somewhat larger platform, and I can finally use it to make an impact in my community. I have always waited for a time to do so, and I think that now is the best time. I'm so grateful for you guys, and truly am blessed to have such a supportive audience. You guys keep driving me forward every day, and I'm just like really thankful for you guys. I mean, you've always been generous to me, you've been supportive, and I don't know what else to say. While these times are uncertain, Rest assured, whatever happens from here on out, I'll always be thinking about you guys, whether during a surgery, post-op, or even weeks before the surgery. Sorry for this odd video. I know that there is no humor at all in this. I mean, I've tried, but I just don't really think that this would be the best time to do so. I wanted to be upfront and honest with you guys, and I scripted this entire thing in one day, and it's like 5 pages long. It actually is funny how I put so much effort into writing an essay about my eye in a matter of about 2 hours, but can't write anything about Shakespeare in an entire week. Hope you guys are all doing fine, and just remember to stay safe. Don't take anything for granted, and make sure that you're happy with all that you have, whether or not it's small or large in number. Peace.